Chair recognizes that the Lenoir County Board of Education has established a quorum and calls the June 7, 2021 regular board meeting to order. Chair recognizes Mr. Nick Harvey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let us pray. May the words spoken in this room tonight be beneficial to the students, parents, staff, and administrators in our school system. And may we be led by the guiding principle to always base our decisions on the best interests of our young people. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Mr. Brent Williams to present the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight, members of the board, it is my honor and privilege to present to you for your consideration and hopefully your approval tonight's agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Is there a recommendation or a motion pertaining to the agenda?
Move to approve the agenda.
Got a motion by Mr. Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Woods. We have a motion by Mr. Davis and a second by Mr. Woods to approve the board agenda as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. The agenda is set for tonight. Okay, next is board chair comments. I do have a couple of comments I would like to make. First of all, I'd like to welcome and recognize Mr. Preston Harris, our County Commissioner Liaison. Glad you could be with us tonight. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. We, the board, would like to express sincere thanks to all of the staff and employees of the Lenoir County Public School System for all the dedication, determination, fortitude, and hard work that has gone into this school year to make the students of Lenoir County Public Schools as successful as possible under the unusual circumstances that has existed during this time. We also would like to congratulate all seniors on reaching the milestone of graduation from high school. They have worked very hard for 13 years and especially the last 15 months to get to this point in their young lives. We also would like to congratulate the class of 2021 for earning the second highest scholarship amounts for a senior class in the Lenoir County Public School System. We would like to thank the principals, the teachers, staff, administration, and all employees for working so diligently to make the graduation ceremonies at Lenoir County Early College High School, Lenoir County Learning Academy, North Lenoir High School, South Lenoir High School, and Kinston High School so successful and eventful. We are providing a summer enrichment academy from June the 14th through July the 22nd, 2021 to help students with learning recovery. We hope that all parents would take advantage of this additional learning opportunity for their students. We would also like to thank Crown Manufacturing for partnering with Lenoir County Public Schools again this year to offer a youth apprenticeship program. We would like to thank all full-time employees of the Lenoir County Public School System by amending a previous motion to increase the recovery bonus that is included in the elementary and secondary school emergency relief funds. We will be presenting a vendor tonight to oversee the much-needed capital improvements that are also being made possible as a result of their elementary and secondary school emergency relief funds. And with that, I would like to thank you for your attention. I would like to make one more comment, if I could, to our board members. Everybody knows we have a full agenda tonight, and I ask that the board members will have their questions and comments ready for our presenters. I would also ask that you request to be recognized before your questions and comments. This will help facilitate orderly, timely, efficient, and effective meeting. Thank you. Chair now recognizes Mr. Brent Williams for his report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's my honor tonight to share with you that we had a very successful closing of the 2021 school year. I want to thank everybody who was involved with this, all of our teachers, as the chair indicated, all of our teachers, our administrators, our students, our parents, our other staff members, everybody who contributed to making this school year successful. There is no question about it. This school year will be remembered for a lot of things that have been difficult, for a lot of challenges, for a lot that was not pleasant. for a lot of suffering, a lot of pain, a lot of loss related to the COVID-19 pandemic. It also will be remembered, however, I'm absolutely certain that it will be remembered for many positive things, for the resilient human spirit and human condition that did shine through during these difficult times. I am certain that that will be something that history records in a positive way. But I've been so impressed with that on a personal and professional level from our staff members this year who've committed themselves to doing whatever it takes and to figuratively and sometimes literally to wrap their arms around our young people and to say, we will not let you fail. We will do whatever it takes. And they have done that every single day, and it's been truly impressive. So to our teachers and teacher assistants and bus drivers and office staff members and administrators, assistant principals, custodians, everybody at our schools, our school counselors, social workers, nurses, everybody on the team, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of our administrative team and this Board of Education. Thank you for all that you've done for this school system, and thank you for all that you are and all that you bring to the table every day. You are greatly valued and much appreciated. We had some outstanding graduations, a series of 5 high school graduations, our 3 traditional high schools and our 2 non-traditional high schools with Early College High School and Learning Academy, Lenoir County Learning Academy Alternative School. 5 outstanding graduations. I was proud of all of them. I'm proud of our kids, our graduates. Congratulations to the class of 2021. Your indomitable, wonderful, enduring spirit is just icing on the cake. We already knew we had the best kids anywhere, and these graduations were a highlight of that. And sitting there and watching these kids all walk across the stage, I don't know how one could not be moved by that. And it's certainly something that will be with me always, and I know that it will be with them and their family members always as well. I've had many positive, much positive feedback, many positive comments from our parents about our graduation program. So congratulations to all of those at the school level who had a hand in planning and executing such outstanding graduation programs. We had our banquet, our luncheon this past week for our retirees. I want to thank Ms. Heath and the HR team for all that they did to contribute to making that event so successful. Congratulations to our retirees on a well-deserved retirement, but so many of them, when they were coming up for their pictures, I was asking them, you will be coming back, won't you? And we do hope that they will. That's a lot of expertise that is going into retirement, but we have some bright, young, beginning teachers who are coming in also. So the cycle continues. And our retirees have a really great record of coming back and contributing and still continuing to touch the lives of students in meaningful ways. And we appreciate them very much. So to our retirees, I invite you back. I always say, some of them smile when I say it because I say it so frequently to them, 6 months and 1 day, 6 months and 1 day, and we'll see you back. And we want to talk to you about how we can further partner on doing all that we can for the young people that we're so richly blessed to serve. Tonight, it is my honor to make a few announcements to you. In general, I want to say our teachers have not quit writing grant proposals. We are finishing the 2020-2021 school year, a year that's been so greatly impacted in many ways that weren't positive, but it's been impacted by the global pandemic. But I want to share with you something really positive, that we are posting for this school year a record number of grants, the most grant dollars ever earned by our school system. And that would be great on any year, but if one factors in that this has been a year of pandemic and recovery, then it's truly remarkable. So I want to thank our teachers for that and our other staff members who've written these grants to secure additional funding over and above the basic funding to support instruction in our classrooms. That's been amazing. And as an example, Amy White, a 5th grade teacher at Contentney Savannah K-8 school, has won a North Carolina Schools Go Outside grant worth $14,000, $14,444. That's a lot of fours right there, that will be used to build and equip an outdoor classroom for use by the school's 900 students. The outdoor classroom will include student stations that can accommodate a full class, as well as a teacher podium and double-sized chalkboard, all designed to withstand the weather. Mrs. White's grant is the fourth Go Outside grant awarded to LCPS during the 2021 school year. A total value for all of those grants is $52,000 earned by our teachers this year from this one grant program, this Go Outside grant program through the state. So congratulations to Ms. White and to all of our Go Outside winners. Congratulations to Woodington Middle School agriculture students Gabriel Hernandez Crespo, Jacqueline Mendoza, Maggie Register, and Emily Sierra Carashure. These students were entered into a personal finance challenge by their teacher, Ms. Jessica Jones, and received the highest middle school scores in the state. Congratulations. Teachers from public and private schools in grades 6 through 12 across North Carolina are invited to register their students and teams to compete in the Personal Finance Challenge, NCPFC. The Personal Finance Challenge lets students demonstrate their knowledge of personal finance literacy in an online competition with other schools across the state. The top middle school earns the right to be crowned champions of NC Personal Finance. This opportunity was made available by the North Carolina Council on Economic Education. Congratulations to Mrs. Jones and to the students from Woodington Middle School. And Mr. Philippi, congrats. Mrs. Jessica Jones, also with Ms. Jessica Jones, agriculture teacher at Woodington Middle School, she received a $485 Ag in the Classroom grant from NC Farm Bureau that will be used to purchase items needed to update school memorial pond. In addition, students will receive hands-on learning experiences including pond care and maintenance and maintaining water quality. Mr. Eric Cantu, a valuable member of our school system support family, our extended family, will be assisting in the learning process. So thank you to Mr. Cantu for that. In a process that began last fall, nearly 800 teachers, administrators, and staff members at all of our 17 schools completed classroom and hands-on training in emergency first aid taught by Jordan Taggart and other Lenoir County emergency management staff. The Stop the Bleed training is a nationally recognized effort to transform bystanders into first responders during times of emergencies by giving them the ability to recognize life-threatening bleeding and effectively to intervene. The training was supported by a grant awarded by Lenoir County Emergency Management. So we do thank Ms. Jerry King with Emergency Management and Mr. Michael James, our county manager, and Mr. Harris, one of our commissioners is here. Thank you to the county for supporting this and supporting our school system with this training in a very valuable way. That's literally life-saving training, and we appreciate it. The Kinston Crown Manufacturing Facility, makers of electric and internal combustion lift trucks, is partnering with LCPS to employ a group of youth apprentices. Beginning this summer, Crown will activate the second round of its apprenticeship program, which began in the 2019-2020 school year, but was paused because of the pandemic. After reviewing applications and holding interviews, it has selected 4 young apprentices. Now, I'm very excited about this because this is the fruition of this unique partnership. And remember, we're only one of 2 school systems in the state with a partnership like this that is guaranteeing jobs to students who qualify and meet the criteria after the pre-apprenticeship and apprenticeship. On Thursday of this week, the announcement was made last week. On Thursday of this week, the formal presentations will be made, and I will be in attendance for that event. We're really excited about it and excited for these wonderful young people who will be getting these jobs. So the students, their schools, and the areas in which they work are Connor McIntosh from North Lenoir High School in welding. Congratulations, Connor. Gavin Pittman, South Lenoir in machining. Congratulations, Gavin. Austin Rivenbark, South Lenoir High School industrial maintenance, and Elijah Stroud from South Lenoir High School. Congratulations to Elijah as well. So thank you to all of these students. Students will work on a maximum of 24 hours per week, scheduled around their school day, and upon the successful completion of this apprenticeship, will have the opportunity to continue their education at the Lenoir Community College, tuition free, and will continue to work for Crown Manufacturing. The official announcement of the Youth Apprenticeship Program, as I stated, will be on June 10th. And I do want to thank the leadership at Crown for all that they've done to work with us and build this partnership. Very successful. Same with Spirit Aero Systems. I couldn't say enough good things about them and their leadership teams. And Mr. Holmes is going to give a presentation tonight about our graduations, but I want to celebrate all 589 of our graduates and our 28 retirees, and especially to highlight the $11.3 million in scholarship money that our students earn. Now, this is the second highest total in the history of our district, and when one factors in, that would be commendable anytime, but when you factor in this has been a pandemic year, that's truly amazing. So congratulations to all. Mr. Chairman, at this time, that concludes my presentation.
Any question or comments for Mr. Williams? Thank you, Mr. Williams. Ms. Taylor, has anyone signed up for public comment? No one has signed up. Still want to thank the public for their time, interest, and comments pertaining to the Lenoir County Public School System. Now we will move to the presentation portion of the agenda. Chair recognizes Mr. Brent Williams, Mrs. Frances Herring, and Mr. Nick Harvey for an update of the Lenoir County Public School System Plan A implementation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight, as a continuation of what we've been doing for the last several months, in fact, all of this school year, Ms. Herring and Mr. Harvey will be presenting first from the instructional lens and then the operational lens, basically our closeout of the school year, our final instructional and operational pieces of ending the school year successfully, as I referenced earlier. We're excited about this. We're headed into, she's going to do a presentation about our summer school. We're headed into summer school operations at a fast and furious pace. Our teachers and administrators were all out meeting about that most of the day today and putting final touches on it. So we're excited about what we're able to do there, and we'll talk about that tonight. And just doing everything we can, leaving no stone unturned to make sure we're providing additional support for our kids. All right, Ms. Herring?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, board members. We've had a very successful closing out of the 2020-2021 school year. 5th and 8th grade promotion ceremonies and each school's awards day were successful and well attended. As Mr. Hill, our chairman, referenced, our 5 high school graduations were amazing. The sun was setting on the football field when the 2021 North Lenoir Hawks flew the nest. The Kinston High School Vikings were Kinston strong and Viking proud as they walked across the stage on their football field. And the morning dew was just evaporating and the sun was shining on the South Lenoir 2021 Blue Devils as they crossed the stage as well. The ceremonies at LCLA and the early college high school were celebratory and heartwarming. The families were so proud of their children, and teachers and staff were tearful and happy. The spring testing sessions were conducted smoothly at all schools, with many thanks to all of our testing coordinators under the leadership of Mr. Brian Corey. The short summer session was held last week, and every single tested area improved proficiency as a result. Our school records transfer is complete as well, and the schools are ready to receive their new students next year. Our school staffs have celebrated the end of another school year, a year full of challenges and hurdles, but successful nevertheless. I simply cannot express how proud I am of our principals, our teachers, our staff, our students, and our parents for making this past school year the best it could be. Lenoir County Public Schools is a special place, and it's full of amazing people. And finally, our Summer Enrichment Academy begins 1 week from today. And we are fully staffed, and we are ready to have a fun summer learning experience. I want to thank you all so much for your support, and that concludes my part of the report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. I would like to begin, just as Mr. Williams and Mrs. Herring did, by thanking each Lenoir County Public School employee for their dedication and perseverance throughout the 2021 school year. Their resilience is unmatched, and we thank them sincerely. Ms. Herring, as she alluded to, she will talk about the Summer School Fund Enrichment Program. I will use my time to talk about what will happen during that report. We had a great closeout, just as the curriculum side of the house did within the operations side. In summer school, as of today, our students will be required to continue to wear the mask. We will report to the board and our parents as soon as that guidance changes, and we're hoping that it will in short order. We will continue to provide our masks to our students, for those that need them, and our staff members as well. Hand sanitizer and cleaning supplies are also readily available, and our Ms. Hines, I thank her for facilitating that process for our principals and our staff members. Social distancing will still be enforced when appropriate, and our summer custodial work, our normal summer cleaning process has already begun, and our summer sites will have a focus with additional support for those sites that are serving as summer school locations, and you have that list as well. Our COVID-19 testing program still continues and will be available for staff and for students with the addition of our school nurses working this summer for our summer programs. Athletics, our spring sports seasons have entered its final week. Conference tournaments and regionals are on the horizon for several of our young student athletes. We want to wish them our very best as they continue to compete for our schools. In child nutrition, Ms. Smith and her team are working hard to prepare our summer feeding program and our summer learning sites. We thank them for their continued support of Lenoir County Public Schools. We are excited about our summer opportunities for our students, and we are equally excited about the start of the 21-22 school year. Thank you.
Any questions or comments from Mr. Williams, Mrs. Herring, or Mr. Harvey?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Yes, Chair recognizes Mr. Smith.
Just want to make a comment, and which I know Mr. Harvey made in reference in his remarks, is that make sure that the public, parents know that it's not the local board's decision for kids to wear masks, continue to wear masks, but that is coming down from the state through our school
That's
toolkit.
correct.
But it's not a local board decision at this time.
That's correct, Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Any more questions or comments? If not, well, thank you, Mr. Williams, Ms. Herring, and Mr. Harvey for that update. Chair recognizes Mr. Patrick Holmes for a summary of Lenoir County Public School graduation programs.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Good evening to you and the fellow board members. I'm here tonight to provide a brief report on Lenoir County Public Schools graduation exercises for the class of 2021. If I can get this thing to work. I promise I was at these 5 graduations, and if I can show you these photographs, that will be my
He was
evidence.
there, vouch for him.
That's all.
There you go. There you go. All right, thank you, John. All right, from May 5th to May 28th, LCPS awarded diplomas to 589 graduating seniors in 5 separate commencements. As you know, 4 of the 5 were held outdoors. The 5th, actually the first on the schedule for Lenoir County Early College High School, was held in Brawley Auditorium on the campus of Lenoir Community College, an indoor commencement enabled by the small class size and the cooperation of LCC. I was a witness to all 5 graduations, and I'll show you. I was a witness to all 5 graduations, and as a witness, I can testify that all 5 were well planned, well executed, and well received. They adhered to tradition, and true to tradition, the graduates heard commencement addresses that mixed nostalgia, advice, and a call to action for the future. All were dignified affairs, but the novelty, after so many years of graduating in the open air, even in the heat, lent a majesty to the outdoor events that was not lost on either students or their families. Plus, this year's arrangements allowed a school's entire class to graduate in the same ceremony, unlike last year, and the outdoor venues allowed a great many more family members and friends to attend. The success of these events is even more impressive given the relatively little time our personnel had to plan them and the evolving nature of public health restrictions under which that planning was done. The work of school administrators and staff, Assistant Superintendent Harvey, Mr. Cecil Outlaw, and the LCPS Maintenance Department turned a logistical challenge into a triumph. Of course, the real triumph here is seeing nearly 600 young men and women reach a milestone they had been working toward for 13 years. The class of 2021 could well be called the class that wouldn't quit. For half their junior year and all their senior year, these students labored and learned under unprecedented conditions. Not only did they have to master math formulas and English grammar and 21st century science, they also had to master a new way of going to school. All this makes the achievements of the class of 2021 impressive in any school year, a miracle of perseverance. Here are some examples. The class of seniors left high school with scholarship offers totaling $11.3 million, the second highest total an LCPS senior class has recorded in recent years. That total includes $2.1 million in large competitive merit scholarships awarded to 21 of our students. Scholarships valued at as much as $100,000 and often the college or university's most prestigious scholarship. North Carolina A&T University awards its top merit scholarship, the Dowdy Scholars Program, to 20 students a year, chosen from 1,000 or so who apply and the 130 named as finalists. This year, one of those 20 was North Lenoir High School senior Jameer Jones Gatlin. In the past 5 years, LCPS has seen its students win Duke University's top scholarship, back-to-back Moorhead Kane scholarships to UNC, UNC Charlotte's Premier Scholarship, and now Jameer's success at A&T. These achievements alone make the case that our top students match up well with top students from any other school, private or public. A few more numbers help make that point. 63 seniors graduated with honors. 71 were named North Carolina Academic Scholars. 77% of the class is headed to college. 37% of the class graduated with some college credits. And 55 students left high school not only with a diploma, but also with an associate degree from LCC. Of that total, 91% of the class of 2021 at Early College High School earned associate degrees, the second consecutive year that number has topped 90%. And even more impressive, 24 of the students who earned college degrees didn't attend early college, but graduated from one of our traditional high schools. In 2019, that number wasn't 24, it was 6. By any measure, the class of 2021 is a special class, but by the measure imposed upon them by the global pandemic, this is an extra special class. And with our 5 graduation exercises, Lenoir County Public Schools gave these seniors the extra special send-off that they deserved. Thank you for your attention. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Are there any questions or comments from Mr. Holmes? So, thank you again, Mr. Holmes. Those certainly were some impressive numbers that you gave us right then. Again, I'd like to say congratulations to the seniors for reaching this milestone in their young lives. And then, again, thank you to the principals and the staff for making graduation such a successful event. Chair recognizes Mrs. Frances Herring for an update on the Lenoir County Public School Summer Enrichment Academy starting June the 14th through July 22nd, 2021.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. This is going to be an update on where we are with our numbers and our locations for our Summer Enrichment Academy for Lenoir County Public Schools. So I presented to you all at the last board meeting to give you how we're following all of the legislative criteria, and now it's just going to sort of break it down for you with some more details. So again, our plan, we're going to run from June 14th to July 22nd, 4-day weeks, Monday through Thursday. July 5th is a holiday. It's a full school day, 7:50 to 3 o'clock for students. It's face-to-face only. There will be no remote option available. Instruction in the core subject areas will be tailored to all the grade levels. There's daily physical activity, enrichment classes, creative writing has been built in, agriculture classes, and many more. Of course, we're offering school bus transportation and a no-cost breakfast and lunch for all of our students who are attending. I mentioned at the last board meeting that our locations were tentative, that it really depended on our enrollment. Well, we've had some solid enrollment, and so our locations are going to stay the way we had originally planned them to be, which has been very nice. So there's 3 elementary sites. Moss Hill is serving students from Moss Hill, Pink Hill, and Southwood. Northwest is a site. It'll be serving students from Northeast, Northwest, and Southeast. And Continua Savannah, the elementary side, will be serving students from Banks, CSS K-5, and LaGrange students. There's 3 middle school sites. Frink Middle School will be serving Frink Middle School students and the CSS Middle School students. Kinston High School is the site for the Rochelle Middle School students, and Woodington will be the site for Woodington Middle School students. And the three high schools sites are 3 traditional, so Kinston High, North Lenoir, and South Lenoir. So as of the end of last week, we have 2,683 students enrolled in our Summer Enrichment Academy, which is outstanding. We have 1,679 elementary students enrolled, 443 middle school students enrolled, and 561 high school students enrolled. And I even took the opportunity to tell you how it was broken down by grade level. So I was really, we're very happy with these numbers. These numbers exceeded our expectation. We're really proud of the push that our schools took. Teachers called home, principals called home. Principals got in cars. They went to people's houses, signed them up with the iPad at the front door, and said, because it was a an online Google document to register. So there was a hard push by our staff and schools to get these students enrolled. And as the summer progresses, we will continue to enroll. There is no cutoff date. We wanted as many enrolled as possible by June 1st, just strictly for planning purposes. But if a child shows up the second week, we're going to let them come on in. We're not going to cut it off, and we're going to serve every student that shows up every day. So that is our plan. We have 10 site administrators. These are all assistant principals. We have 165 elementary teachers signed up to teach. We have 66 middle school teachers and 88 high school academic staff. Now this does include your school counselor. We have a school counselor at every site. Mr. Harvey mentioned we have some social workers that are working this summer. We also have school nurses. So all of those needs will be met. We also have teacher assistants in place, and all of our EC classrooms are fully staffed. And we're also, Ms. Hill and I have talked about it. We have several of our medically fragile classes will be in place this summer as well. And those classrooms will be fully staffed with their corresponding teacher and TA. So I just wanted to give you an idea of what the day is going to look like. Just so it's a full school day. So if you're an elementary student, we've got from 7:30 to 7:50, students will be dropped off and they'll be eating breakfast. Class starts at 7:50, and from 7:50 to 8:20, they'll have morning meeting. And morning meeting is actually a very scheduled event. We have that every day during the regular school year. It's a very scripted. We talk about the day. We talk about what day it is. We talk about how do you feel today. There's an introduction to what we're going to learn in math today, what we're going to learn, what are our reading objectives today, what are our science objectives today. And then they move at 8:20 into phonics instruction, word work, and vocabulary work. And at 8:50, they come into their whole group mini lesson. So they'll all come in together for a short mini lesson. And then at 9:10 to 10:20 are guided reading LLI. And this is our targeted literacy instruction. This is where students are going to get very specific instruction on the areas in literacy that they are particularly lacking. We'll have recess, and then after recess, we have interactive read-alouds, and that's a very scripted particular piece of our literacy instruction that we have during the school year. So we'll have our interactive read-aloud, and every grade level, every grade span has a writing component to it this summer. And so from 11:25 to 11:50, there will be a writing lesson. We have lunch, we come back, there's a math lesson, and then after math, they'll have their specials classes. These are their elective classes. So it's art, it's music, it's digital creation, it's a STEM class. So after that, they come back to their regular classroom and they have a science lesson. And then at 3 o'clock, from 3 to 3:05, they prepare for dismissal, and at 3:05, they will be dismissed and they will begin to load buses. It's a very busy day. If you're a middle school student, breakfast and drop-off is the same. 7:50 to 8:15 is what we're calling student seminar. This is where we're going to cover our social and emotional lessons, our social emotional learning. We'll take an opportunity to go into career exploration, and there will also be writing components during this time as well. From 8:15 to 9:45 is first period. It'll be ELA, English Language Arts, and then they'll move into second period for math, of a 25-minute lunch, and then third period is science, and fourth period is half PE, and then half of the time is an enhancement class, a class on the rotation on the wheel. And then at 3 o'clock, they prepare to dismiss. And a day in the life in high school. So they also have what we're calling the student seminar, because the elementary students have morning meetings, so we had to create something that reflected that for middle and high school students. And then the high school students will also have a social emotional learning scripted lessons that our guidance counselors will be, school counselors will be delivering. They will also have an opportunity for career exploration and a writing lesson. In high school, we can only offer classes in the subjects that have EOCs. And so we have face-to-face classes for NC Math 1. Second period is biology. There's a lunch period, and then the students come back for their enhancement class. It could be ag, it could be art, it could be STEM. And then they come back for credit recovery. And credit recovery is an opportunity for students to, if they have failed a class, we have a program that we use where they can get online. Teachers will pick the modules of the class that they need to work on, and the students will have this credit recovery time to pass those modules. And then once they do, then we can go in and do a grade replacement for some of these students, which is an excellent opportunity that we're not normally able to offer. So they can earn the credit back, and if they can earn the credit and they can do a grade replacement. So that's a really extraordinary opportunity we're able to offer our high school students. And again, they dismiss at 3:05. So everyone has a full day, and they'll be good and tired when they get home, because they've not had a full day of school like this since 15 months ago. So they're going to be tired. Today was a busy day. Mr. Williams mentioned that in his remarks this morning. Today is 1 week from today is our summer enrichment academy begins, and today was a very busy day. We have professional development all day long today. I just wanted to just quickly show you just what this looked like, just so you just kind of have an idea. So we had elementary PD, middle school PD, and high school PD. In the mornings it was Zoom. We did Zoom meetings, and we met to talk about, your site administrators met with them to talk about their handbooks that they've created for the summer. What is the day going to look like? We created a common slide deck that every teacher will use in their classes every day this summer, so that we're able to ensure continuity of instruction and making sure that we are in line with legislation and accountability purposes. So we have created, we've really actually created most of the substance and the rigor for the teachers. And my understanding was after the sessions this morning, the teachers all had a huge sigh of relief, because I don't think they necessarily realized that we had created these slide decks for all of them. They would have all of the, everything is already laid out for them and set up. So it was a communal sign of thank you. After the morning time with everybody as a whole, the teachers and staff reported to the sites where they're going to teach this summer. And they had staff meetings with their new administrators, with the APs that are serving as site administrators. And these are, you're talking about, it's like running a full school. So like at CSS, there's almost 600 students. So Dr. Lancaster, who is the AP who's running that, would be, it's like running a large school in the summer. And it's like that at all of the sites, all 9 sites. So they're all very organized. We made sure they had everything they needed in advance, like I said, to ensure continuity of service and support for our teachers and our students. We provided some some Zoom link training. We're using science kits that are, we order them and they come already made, if you will, with the lessons already there. And the teachers, all of our science teachers had a professional development with the company's teacher who helps create these science kits. And remember, I jumped onto one of them to the middle school, our three middle school science teachers, and they were talking about middle school science that I don't remember. And they were going through the different lessons, and it was the PD was very hands-on, and I could see our teachers were like, yeah, that looks great. So we're hoping that it'll catch and it'll be something that we'll actually be able to continue during the school year. So we're really excited about that. So we spent the day getting everybody set up and ready to start for our kids this coming Monday. Oh, I got one slide up. That's really not. Okay, so elementary, middle, and high school, PD all day today. And so this concludes my report for tonight. I look forward to reporting back to you at the next meeting after we actually get started and be able to tell you how it's going. Next week we'll have the bus routes, might be a little, might be some children picked up earlier, a few minutes late, we're going to work those out. But everyone has worked so hard, so hard to get this summer enrichment academy off the ground for our students this summer, and I think we're all very excited and we're all very anxious for Monday to get here. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Okay, any questions or comments from Mrs. Herring? Thank you, Mrs. Herring. And I will say again, we hope that all parents will take advantage of the summer enrichment opportunity for their students.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Mrs. Helen Hooker to present the May 2021 financial report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, board members. The May 2021 financial report summarizes budget and year-to-date activity for all Lenoir County Board of Education funds as of May 31st, 2021. Additionally, the report represents the local current expense fund balance as of May 31st, 2021. If you've had time to review, I'll answer any questions you may have.
Any questions or comments for Mrs. Hooker? Thank you, Mrs. Hooker, for your report.
Thank you.
Now we will move to the action portion of the agenda. Chair recognizes Mr. Eric Adams to present the 2021-2022 interim budget resolution.
Good evening, board members. The 2021-2022 interim budget is prepared in order to continue fiscal operations beginning July 1st, 2021 until an approved budget resolution is passed. Excuse me. The interim budget is based on 1/4 of the 2021 school year budget. The resolution appropriates funds through September 30th, at which point we hope to have a better idea about a final state budget picture. Are there any questions?
Any questions or comments for Mr. Adams? All right, thank you, Mr. Adams. Now, is there a recommendation or a motion pertaining to the Lenoir County Public School System 2021-2022 interim budget? We have a motion by Mr. Davis, Mr. Anderson.
Second.
Second by Mr. Davis. All right, we have a motion by Mr. Anderson, a second by Mr. Davis to approve the 2021-2022 interim budget as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Adams, and we certainly hope that the North Carolina General Assembly and the governor can enact the state budget as soon as possible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Chair, again recognize Mr. Eric Adams to present the budget amendment number 4 for the 2020-2021 fiscal year.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Budget amendment number 4 is being used to revise the working budget of Lenoir County Board of Education to reflect changes that have occurred throughout the fiscal year. As you'll see in your background information, the program report codes affected by this budget amendment in State Public School Fund and Capital Outlay Fund. As you review the amendment, if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer those.
Okay, any questions or comments from Mr. Adams? Thank you, Mr. Adams. Is there a recommendation or a motion pertaining to the 2020-2021 budget amendment? We got a motion by Mr. Anderson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Davis. We have a motion by Mr. Anderson and a second by Mr. Davis to approve the budget amendment as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Adams.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Mr. Brian Corey to present the Lenoir County Learning Academy Alternative Accountability Model for the 2021-2022 school year.
Board Chair, all board members, the State Board of Education grants alternative schools the permission to choose an option from the Alternative Schools Accountability Model. This model allows alternative schools to have a substitute for school performance grades. Lenoir County Learning Academy has previously participated in option B, which is the Alternative Progress Model. This model provides an overall rating of progressing, maintaining, or declining for alternative schools that is based on 20% student persistence, 20% school achievement, and 60% student growth. Lenoir County Learning Academy has successfully chosen the Alternative Progress Model since the State Board of Education approved the Alternative Schools Accountability Model in 2014. So tonight I ask that you approve Lenoir County Learning Academy to continue with option B, Alternative Progress Model for the 2021-22 school year as supported by the principal and the Lenoir County Public School Testing and Accountability Department.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Anderson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Woods. Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Anderson and a second by Mr. Woods to approve the Alternative Accountability Model for Lenoir County Learning Academy as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Corey. Chair recognizes Mrs. Beverly Key to present the application for federal funding for the 2021-2022 school year.
Good evening. I am requesting board approval to apply for federal funding for the 2021-22 school year. These funds are used to help provide additional instructional activities and other services to help children and teachers meet high standards as set forth in the Early Student Succeeds Act. The programs include, but are not limited to, Title I Part A, improving the academic achievement of disadvantaged, Title I Part D, prevention and intervention programs for children and youth who are neglected, delinquent, or at risk. Title I Part C, our migrant children. Title II Part A, training and recruiting high-quality teachers and principals. Title III, language acquisition. Title IV, student support and academic enrichment. And comprehensive support and improvement funds.
Any questions? Okay, we got a motion by Mr. Anderson. I'm sorry. My apologies. Mrs. Anderson. Mr. Anderson.
What's your anticipation of increasing funds in federal funds? Are you expecting an increase in federal funds?
I always expect an increase. I would love to get an increase.
Let me rephrase that then. Have you received any indication that there will be an increase in federal funds?
I have not at this time, sir.
Okay, Mr. Anderson has a motion to approve. Is there a second? We got a motion by Mr. Anderson, a second by Mr. Davis to approve the application for federal funding for the 2021-2022 school year. Any further discussions? All right, hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Thank you, Ms. Keys.
Thank you.
All right, Chair recognizes Ms. Amy Jones to present the CTE application for state and federal funding for the 2021-2022 school year.
Good evening. Tonight I've provided you with the final draft of the 2021-22 application for state and federal funding of the Career and Technical Education Program. This application must be submitted to NCDPI in order to receive and use state federal funds for CTE programs and services. CTE programs include PRC 13, PRC 14, and PRC 17. Successful applications will yield approximately $2.9 million. The local plan and assurances certification are attached to this request for your review. The local plan narratives were approved last year as they are now under a 2-year cycle. The year-to-year differences are in the CTE budgets, which reflect changes in projection amounts from federal and state funding. Tonight I'm seeking approval of the CTE local application.
Any questions for Mrs. Jones? Thank you, Mrs. Jones. All right, is there a motion pertaining to CED application for state and federal funding?
Move to approve application for state.
We got a motion by Mr. Smith. Is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. Woods. We have a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mr. Woods to approve the CTE application for state and federal funding for the 2021-2022 school year. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Mrs. Jones.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Mrs. Frances Herring to present the 2021-2022 fees, fines, and charges.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Every year I bring the fees, fines, and charges to you for your approval. They're elementary, middle, and high school. I have conferred with all of our principals. Nothing has changed with regards to prices or requests from last year. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them for you tonight. But I just ask for your approval so that we can get them in our student handbooks.
Any questions for Mrs. Herring? Thank you, Mrs. Herring. Is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to the 2021-2022 fees, fines, and charges? Motion by Mr. Woods. Is there a second? Second by Dr. Outlaw. We have a motion by Mr. Woods and a second by Dr. Outlaw to approve the fees, fines, and charges for the 2021-2022 school year. Any further discussion? No discussion. All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Herring. Chair recognizes Mr. Brent Williams and Mrs. Carolyn Murchison to present the offer to purchase and sales agreement for the Apple surplus equipment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight, we're bringing to you the top bid from the reselling, the bidding out process for reselling our Apple devices as part of our most recent refresh. Now, you know, in previous refresh cycles, in previous years, and we've had 3 previous refresh cycles. In each of those, we've sold the equipment at the same time that we received new equipment. But the thing is, you have to get the equipment in to process it, then have it visually inspected. The vendors come on site and visually inspect it when it gets close to the actual bidding time. And our kids have to be without the devices for a period of time. That could be as little as a week or as much as a month. But we did not feel that in this year of remote learning and pandemic and recovery, our kids could be without our devices at all. So what we did is we went ahead and did the purchasing without doing the reselling until a later time, and that later time is now. And we've been going through the process, and we've worked with Tharrington Smith and Melissa Michaud there, and have, in Carolyn's office, and have gone through the process of advertising the products in the newspaper, and then we had to re-advertise it, and we got bids. And tonight, that's what we're bringing forward for you. We negotiated an offer with the potential purchaser pursuant to NC General Statute 160A-269 for the sale of approximately 270 MacBook Air laptops mid-2013, 730 MacBook Air laptops circa 2015, 5,000 iPads 5th generation, and 4,740 iPads 6th generation, which all had been declared surplus by this board. Lenoir County Public Schools advertised the original offer for upset on or about April 17th, 2021, and then repeated the process of advertising qualifying responsive bids for upset. On or about May 11th, 2021, vendor submitted a responsive bid of $1,820,200 for the surplus equipment, and Lenoir County Public Schools advertised a high offer for upset bid on or about May 18th, 2021, and no further qualifying upset bids were received. The administration recommends that the board accept the company's Second Life Max offer to purchase the surplus equipment described in Exhibit A and approve the proposed surplus equipment sales agreement as presented tonight.
Any questions of Mr. Williams or Mrs. Murchison? Thank you, Mr. Williams. Is there a recommendation or a motion pertaining to the Apple surplus equipment?
Motion to accept the bid.
Motion by Mr. King. Is there a second?
I'm sorry, what was the motion?
I'm sorry?
What was the motion?
Accept the bid.
To accept the bid? Yeah, is it to accept the bid or is it to approve the contract?
Motion to approve the
To
contract.
accept the offer to purchase and approve the proposed surplus equipment sales agreement as presented.
Okay, so this is not the, sorry, got it. I was confusing it with another contract we had a discussion on. Forgive me.
Okay. So, Mr. King, you made a motion to accept the offer to purchase and the sales agreement, correct?
Yes,
Is there a
sir.
second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Smith. Okay, we got a motion by Mr. King and a second by Mr. Smith to accept the offer to purchase this Apple surplus equipment and approve the Apple surplus equipment sales agreement as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Chair recognizes Mr. Brett Williams to present the proposed 2021-2022 school year board meeting dates.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight, we are bringing forward for your consideration the proposed meeting dates for the upcoming year. We've tried to work around existing and already known conference dates and meeting dates and anything that might prohibit us from having a regular meeting. Of course, holidays and the usual things that we work around. But we tried to stay within the considerations of previous years, but certainly we're willing to, at the board's pleasure, to make any changes that you see necessary.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Williams. Any questions, Mr. Williams? If not, is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to the board meeting dates?
Move to accept the board meeting dates for 2021-2022 school
I
year.
got a motion by Mr. Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Woods. We have a motion by Mr. Davis and a second by Mr. Woods to approve the 2021-2022 school year board meeting dates. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. All right. Chair recognizes Mr. Brett Williams, Mrs. Frances Herring, and Mr. Nick Harvey to present a proposal to amend the recovery bonus for all Lenoir County Public School full-time employees.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tonight, we're bringing this forward for your consideration and asking you to amend a previous decision, and we brought forward the proposal for $500 bonus for all full-time employees as a recovery bonus. At that time, we were trying to be very conservative in our planning and looking at all factors. We were pre-summer school registration at that point. We did not know what the full cost of summer school will be. We had not employed teachers, bus drivers, other employees, and we're projecting the cost now of next year's, even rounding up with that. We see, as other districts have around us and across the state, that we will be able to do more for our employees, and we feel that they deserve that, and we certainly are asking for that tonight. So instead of doing an additional disbursement at the end, as some districts are doing during or after the summer, of another $500 or $750, we're requesting to increase the amount by $750 to a total of $1,250 for all full-time LCPS employees. And we have had Mr. Adams do a feasibility study on that. He certainly has given it his endorsement, and it is in line with what our neighboring districts are doing. Better than some, less than some, but it's certainly in line with that and competitive with it. So.
Mr. Williams basically addressed what I was going to ask, because I saw that he had Ms. Harry and Mr. Williams, Hobby. I weren't there for Mr. Adams, but you said they did give you an
Yes, sir. And he's here. I had him do an analysis of impact, and what we were really focused on is the summer learning and the employing our teachers and the buses and the everything, all the costs of that, and then times two. Oh, okay. All right.
All right, any further questions or comments? Thank you, Mr. Williams. Is there a recommendation or a motion pertaining to recovery bonus? Got a motion by Mr. Anderson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Davis. We have a motion by Mr. Anderson, a second by Mr. Davis to approve the proposal to amend the recovery bonus from $500 to $1,250 for all full-time Lenoir County Public School employees. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Mr. Adams, that disbursement, our employees who are watching can expect that when? In the what? In June.
June.
Yes.
Okay. All right, and I personally think this is a well-deserved bonus for all full-time Lenoir County Public School employees. Chair recognizes Mr. Brent Williams to present a proposal to use state pay scale for principals, assistant principals, and central office administrators.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, thank you. This is our request, and I've talked with each of you individually about this, but this is, and we talked with Ms. Murkison last week, but this is our proposal to, we currently have a mismatch with pay scales. We adopted the state pay scale for principals a couple of years ago, and this is to eliminate a mismatch in which an individual can be a principal or assistant principal at the school, and if they come to the district level to work for this exact same category of job, they're actually making less money. So this would present, this is a fix, and it's a short-term fix until and it might take us the better part of a year to develop and to have considered by you an approved essential services pay scale, but until then, to approve the state already in use state-approved pay scale for principals and assistant principals for directors and coordinators.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Any questions? All right, is there a recommendation or a motion pertaining to the state pay scale for principals, assistant principals, and central office administrators?
Motion to approve.
Okay. We got a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Woods. Okay, we have a motion by Mr. King and a second by Mr. Woods to approve the proposal to use the state pay scale for principals, assistant principals, and central office. Any further discussion? Not hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion?
Board Chair, I just want to clarify that this would be a motion to amend what you all had previously approved. So it's a motion to amend the bonus from $500 to $1,250.
We're about 3 off.
We already did that.
Right, I don't think it was a motion to amend, I just think it was a motion to approve. I just want the record to
Tessie,
clearly state that it was an amendment of a previous action.
They were both amending recovery bonus?
Previous item, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
to approve the proposal to amend the recovery bonus as
Okay.
presented.
Thank you.
Are we good?
Yep.
Okay. So let me restate it. We got a motion by Mr. King and a second by Mr. Woods to approve the proposal to use the state pay schedule for principals, assistant principals, and central office personnel. Any further discussion?
Mr. Moore,
Sir.
what's the issue? How do we juxtapose what we're doing?
Currently, tonight, on tonight's personnel agenda, we have principals who are coming to the district level to work at a job that's on their same level. A directorship is a central office equivalent of a principalship, but it currently pays less. So it would be a de facto pay cut. And if an assistant principal comes to a coordinator, as we have on the personnel agenda tonight, if a current assistant principal comes to a coordinator level, they're actually going to be making less. So this will eliminate that. They won't be making more, but they won't be making less.
How do we address it in the past? How do we address it in the past?
There wasn't a need to address it until the state adopted principal pay scale 2 years ago, when we adopted that as a district, but we don't yet have that pay scale for central services. So we need to develop that this year. But this will be a short-term solution. Most districts around have chosen to do this, and it gets them through till they develop a central services pay scale.
So the state doesn't have a social services
Well, there are several pay scales for various types of employees at central services, yes. But our district has always used a Lenoir County pay scale for central services. But we've had a mismatch, but this will eliminate that, and we'll be bringing forward a proposed pay scale for you in the coming months.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Chair recognizes Mr. Nick Harvey to present the proposed vendor for Lenoir County Schools Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Fund improvements.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you recall, last month, you granted us the approval to request qualifications for the design build engineering firm to facilitate our ESSER II capital projects. On May 4th, we published the RFQ on the Lenoir County Public Schools webpage, and on May 8th, the request was printed in the Kinston Free Press. Both ads ran until May 18th at 3 p.m. We only received one response. As general statute requires, when there's only one submission, the RFQ must again be published for at least 5 days. Our RFQ ran for a total of 10 days, online on the Lenoir County Public Schools webpage, and 5 days in the Kinston Free Press. As of May 30th, the end of the second deadline for submissions, there was still only one submission. Although there was only one bidder for this project, we are extremely excited for the opportunity to work with Schneider Electric. As you can see from the attachment in board docs, their company was not only responsive, but also prepared. They are also prepared to serve our schools by designing systems that will provide the best, safe, and healthy learning environment for our students and staff members. Currently, Schneider is serving our friends in Brunswick County, Swain County, New Hanover County, and Harnett County. And with your approval tonight, Lenoir County Public Schools. Tonight, we are requesting that you approve Schneider as the design build engineer for LCPS, for the LCPS ESSER II school improvements. We would like to bring a contract to you at our next meeting.
Any questions, comments, Mr. Harvey? Okay, thank you, Mr. Harvey. Is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to the vendor for design build for Lenoir County Schools improvements?
Move to accept the vendor for design build for Lenoir County Public School improvements.
Motion by Mr. Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Woods. Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Davis and a second by Mr. Wood to approve the vendor for design build for Lenoir County School improvements. Is that the way the motion is supposed to be stated, Mrs. Murchison?
Yes,
Okay.
thank
Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Okay, I'd like to say, I think this provides a great opportunity for Lenoir County Public Schools to be able to make some long overdue and much needed capital improvements to our school system. Certainly grateful for that opportunity. Chair recognizes Mr. Nick Harvey again to present surplus items.
Thank you. The attached items were submitted for your approval to be deemed surplus. Tonight, we have the technology department with old Dell computers, data projectors, and LaserJet printers that are no longer in use. Additionally, the Lenoir County Early College High Schools has old textbooks they wish to discard. Any funds from the sale of these items will go to the subsequent department.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Harvey? Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to surplus items? Excuse me, Mr. Anderson. A motion by Mr. Anderson, there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Davis. We have a motion by Mr. Anderson, a second by Mr. Davis to approve the surplus items as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to closed session?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the Lenoir County Board of Education go into closed session under North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11 to prevent the disclosure of confidential personnel files, to consult with the board's attorney in order to preserve their attorney-client privilege, and to consider matters relating to the initial employment of an individual employee.
Motion by Mr. Anderson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Outlaw. We got a motion by Mr. Anderson and a second by Dr. Outlaw to move to closed session. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. We are now in closed session. Thank you. Chair recognizes that the Lenoir County Board of Education is back in open session. Is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to the personnel report and the addendum?
Move to approve the monthly personnel report with the addendum.
Motion by Mr. Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. King. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Mr. King, we have a motion by Mr. Davis and a second by Mr. King to approve the personnel report with the addendum. Any further discussion? Not hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Okay, now, we do have, so for the next report, which is the summer school personnel report, I need to recuse myself from the vote. Is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to summer school recommendations?
So moved.
We got a motion by Mr. Woods. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Smith. We have a motion by Mr. Woods and a second by Mr. Smith to approve the summer school recommendations. Any further discussions? All right, all in favor of the motion signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries. And I believe Mr. Williams has some announcements he would like to make.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Tonight, I would like to congratulate some of our administrators and some new administrators in new roles. We had 2 curriculum directorships and some other positions here at Central Services available, and we had many applicants for those positions, many highly qualified applicants for the 2 curriculum directorships. Many of our principals expressed interest, and everybody who interviewed was truly impressive, and the team was impressed by all of them. But tonight, I'd like to congratulate 2 of our principals who are moving into these curriculum directorships. First, our elementary curriculum directorship, Ms. Stacy Cawley, current principal of Moss Hill Elementary School. Congratulations to Ms. Cawley. In our curriculum director middle grades position, Ms. Crystal Carlisle, current principal of Southwood Elementary School. In our human resources department, beginning teacher support coordinator, Ms. Dunyill Lynn Morris, current Assistant Principal, North Lenoir High School. Congratulations to Ms. Morris. Our Human Resources Department Specialist for Beginning Teacher Support, Ms. Jennifer Sutton, current teacher at LaGrange Elementary School. In our EC Department, MTSS Coordinator, Ms. Sarah Stocks, current Curriculum Specialist, LaGrange Elementary School. School-based principalships, Early College High School. Pleased to welcome back one of our outstanding principals who had retired, who's coming out of retirement to accept this position. Mr. Steve Sainaman, former principal of South Lenoir High School, is coming back to be our Early College High School principal. Congratulations to Mr. Sainaman. Moss Hill Elementary School, Ms. Colley has done an outstanding job there. Big shoes to fill. Mr. Jeremy Barnett, current assistant principal at Kinston High School, will step into that role. So congratulations to Mr. Barnett. Southwood Elementary School, also big shoes to fill. Dr. Heather Lancaster will step into that role, current assistant principal at Contentnia Savannah K-8 School. Rochelle Middle School, big shoes to fill there. Ms. Terry Wooten will become the principal of Rochelle Middle School to replace Mr. Andre Whitfield, who's moving to another role that I will mention in just a moment. But congratulations to Ms. Terry Wooten. School-based assistant principalships, Contentnia Savannah K-8 School, Ms. Christy Eubanks, current curriculum specialist, Banks Elementary School, will be moving into that role at Contentnia Savannah. Congratulations. Kinston High School assistant principal role vacated by Mr. Jeremy Barnett will be filled by Ms. Amy White, current teacher at Contentnia Savannah K-8 School. North Lenoir High School assistant principalship, Ms. Shamika Williams, who works in Johnston County now but lives here in Kinston. She is a graduate of Green Central High School and taught over there for many years and actually grew up very close to the Lenoir County line. And she is excited about joining our team at North Lenoir High School. And the Rochelle Middle School assistant principalship will be named in the next few weeks, on or before our next board meeting day. Our other administrative position, high school graduation success officer, Mr. Andre Whitfield, current principal of Rochelle Middle School. Congratulations to all of our administrators. We are confident that they will do an outstanding job in their new roles, and we congratulate them. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Okay, with no further business to come before this board, is there a recommendation or a motion pertaining to adjournment? We have a motion to adjourn by Mr. Anderson. Is there a second? Second by Dr. Outlaw. All right, we have a motion by Mr. Anderson and a second by Dr. Outlaw to adjourn the meeting. Any discussion? All right, we'll call for the vote. All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carried. Meeting is now adjourned. Everyone, please stay safe.
Thank you.